Hello, I want to welcome you to uh, Smart Reviews basic demo. Smart Review is a web-based and possibly self-hosted application, and is, as far as Africa is concerned, is actually the leading software in the area of performance management software. Now, there are basic modules that you have in Smart Reviews. You have the staff reports, you have the staff evaluation, you have the different evaluation tools module, you have the training and training management module, you have the management staff management development module, you have the job management module, and then you have the HR and admin calendar, and then you have the system settings, and then the security. Now, let me just tell you a basic concept about the smart reviews that actually distinguishes it from many other performance management software that you may actually have come across. First of all, one of the things that distinguishes smart reviews is the fact that quite unlike many other applications, the system provides what we call a retinue of evaluation tools that can be used to evaluate staff at different times. So different companies actually have the freedom to select which different competencies or different components or tools that they can use at different times to actually evaluate the staff. So that's the first thing. So you have the work attitude competency, technical competency, management level competency, KPIs, and then the psychometric evaluation, which is actually recruitment tools, which is something that can be added on depending on your interest. And then one of the other issues is the fact that the way the software is designed is such that the key things that affect staff productivity are kind of integrated. For example, you know that the KPIs are supposed to be things that are quantitative. For example, here we have about the system comes with about 160 different KPIs from which the management of the company can select from. It also allows you to create your own KPI. For example, you can create new KPIs here by just clicking on add new. There you can create entirely new KPIs. But before you will need to do that, it will actually take some time. So the system already comes up. For example, you have about 58 financial KPIs come to this system from where the management can actually select. All right. So you can see the different kind of KPIs. You have human resources KPI and the rest of it. But one of the things you realize that KPI is fundamentally quantitative, and the fact that it is quantitative means that you really cannot manipulate it. I mean, this is actually what you're providing. But then this system provides the ability for the management to say, okay, what is the reason why the KPIs are moving in a particular direction? And that is competencies, technical competencies. For every unit, you have specific technical competencies that actually drives the KPI. So, for example, this system already comes with about 13 finance KPIs. For example, technical competencies here. You have financial budgeting, cost, corporate risk management, and the rest of them. These are technical competencies related to finance or accounts department. Now, the beauty of this is the fact that the KPIs are things that gives you results. Now, but the competencies actually tells you how you can improve on the quantitative results, and the system provides you with all the standard KPIs that you can, standard technical competencies that is going to drive specific KPIs within your organization. So if you look at this is just for finance. You have payroll, tax, and these are the definitions. And then you can look at this. Each of them also have a benchmark which talks about the performance benchmark for each of these particular technical competencies. So you can imagine that the system already provides for you about 60 technical competencies from which you can add. For example, under information technology, you have about 10 different KPIs that may be relevant to your IT department, and you can modify it. You can actually do whatever you want with it in terms of improvement. You can add new ones, and that's one of the beauty of the smart review. It's actually almost like a plug and play, but it's extremely detailed and extremely valuable as far as management dimension is concerned. And then beyond that, one of the things you find out is the system also provides you with what we call the work attitude, competencies. Now, technical KPI and technical competency drives the quantitative KPIs, but work attitude drives technical competencies. The amount of potential and energy you want to put into things that will help you, your technical ability, is a function of your attitude. And so the system provides for the management the ability to have standard, work attitude, competencies based on international research available. This system comes out with about 10 or about 15, and then you can add more, but most of the time every staff actually will do well with some of these 10, but this system provides you with that already. And that's the beauty of the smart reviews. It has a lot of integrated different multidimensional approaches to performance management, staff performance management. All right, so that's the first thing I want to show us. Now, another thing is the fact that the system also comes with a very detailed and very efficient staff record management. Right? This is a performance management software, no doubt, but you will need, it provides you with some fundamental ability to have your staff record and then link your staff record to, the evaluation that you want to carry out, and then be able to, capture these records over a long period of time without a lot of stress. For example, if you look at this, this will further provide you with a list of, staff members of a particular, of your staff, and then you have the pictures. And so at any point, you may want to look at the details of, the staff. So if you look at this, these are the details of the staff, and then you may now want to add. It provides you with the ability to add unlimited, data in terms of files, for example, query files or anything that is, letter of employment can be attached to, the staff record. So the system does it in such a way that the system allows you to have very detailed information for your staff, and you don't really need to, have physical file as much as you can anymore, because the details about the staff is there. All the documents, letter of employment, job description, everything is actually available, within the system. All the queries or anything that is related to that person can actually eventually be fetched. So if I go to maybe the first staff, for example, you can see that the attachment they are completely different from what we have simply just done. All right, so this is the beauty of the staff record. So it provides you with very detailed information, and one of the things about it is the fact that it's so flexible. For example, now the system can say, okay, I just want to look at only the managers. You can click on that, and then it filters out every other. So you can say, these people are only people who have managerial grades. You can actually say, I want to look at people in a specific department. If you click on that, it limits to those people who are managers but who are also in that particular department. So it's such a beautiful application with respect to management of staff record. Now let's go a little bit further. One of the things that before we come to the actual evaluation, the system also provides us with what we call training management module, which helps, for example, when people begin to give you training proposals or training profiles and stuff like that, the system provides you a place where you can actually have that. So these are the different trainings that are available within the system. You can actually decide to click on all, and then you can list you. This is almost about something. So let's say you have about 200 different training proposals or training that you have seen on the web or whoever is relevant. You can actually come here and actually have it, on the system. And then let's say you have new training, you can just click on that. And then you can put your details about that training and stuff like that. So it's quite detailed. Now, one of the things I wanted to notice with this training model is the fact that beyond the fact that the system allows you to have your detailed information with respect to an individual training. Let's say you are bringing in a training, the system also asks you that this particular training, what kind of work attitude can it, kind of work attitude competency can the training improve, so you can actually put them there. If it doesn't have any, of course you can leave it. Then to also ask you what kind of, so you can select from several here, and then you just can move them here. All right, so and things like that is quite flexible. And then it can also ask you what are the management level competencies that this particular training can provide, and then you can move them to those. Now, once you do that and you say save, the beauty of it is the fact that any time the system can then relate to you the leverage that different training can provide. For example, if you look at this, the whole of the training is now listed in such a way that it is relating. This is work attitude competence called initiative, but it's showing you that these are the trainings that are relevant. So you can see the same has actually structured it in such a way that once you know a particular competency you are interested in, if you click on social organizational intelligence, the system will show you all the relevant trainings for that particular competency, and that's the beauty of this training leverage that you have within the system. For example, the same thing applies for every other application. For example, if you come here and say I want to look at technical competence, for example, the same training that was structured the other way has now been restructured. You can see this is a technical competency called financial budgeting, but these are the relevant training. You can actually go this way. For example, I might want to look at training that are relevant to performance management. If I click on performance management, if there are 10 training that are relevant to it, we just put them up here. So you find it that as an HR or an MD, it's extremely easy for you to actually recommend the relevant training when you know the competency that is lacking and is missing among the staff. And that's one of the things that you have with respect to the training model. Now, beyond that, you also have what we call the management development model. It's an extremely important model because one of the things that the management development model says is the fact that the system allows the company to sit down and say, look, all the stages within our organization, the different levels. For example, if you look at this is a list of all the possible levels within this organization. If I list all, is saying we have from interns up onto the director. So those are the different stages that people can occupy within the organization. But the interesting thing about this is the fact that the system also now allows us to say, okay, fine, if these are the available levels that we have within the system, how do we do with the development resources? One of the things that have been a major issue is the fact that people at different levels within the organization may never have taken responsibility to have specific level of resources that they have to consume before they leave from that level to the next level. And because there is no very serious organization, it might be difficult for the management to handle that. But this system comes with a management development module which says, okay, whatever development resource, for example, you have some development resources here. Some of them are training, some of them are other things. This is a psychometric test. So you can actually have videos, and you can see these are these are video online. So different types of development resources. As the HR comes in contact anybody, you go and put it in this particular module, and then the same episode of story. But the beauty of it is that we now sit down with the HR who looks at the different stages within the organization and attach specific development module to that particular stage. For example, at this point, the system allows us to attach any amount of existing, let's say you're looking at managers, for example, the system allows us to attach specific types of resources. For example, we can say we want to look at training resources, and you can attach any of these resources to a particular stage. And once you do that, anybody at that particular stage of development within the organization will actually have to go through that particular level. For example, let's look at the implication here. This is the development, management development record. Look at this guy, for example, is an officer, but the system already records that as an officer, all these resources must be consumed. So you can see the different stages. Some of these are in progress. Some of them have been completed. You can see the start date, but this one has been completed, so there's an end date to it. So you can see that if you have 100 or 15 staff or whatever, you can actually know the different development resources that they have to go through, organize it, synchronize it, and you will never need to struggle to remember it, because when somebody is in that level, the system automatically attaches those resources to that level, and then they will be able to be monitored to know that they've consumed these resources, whether they be videos, whether they be training, whether they be anything, and then it helps them to be able to improve their productivity. So basically, those are some of the things that we have. Let's quickly come to the evaluation proper. For example, if you look at the system, you have the ability to evaluate people, let's say on staff, on staff at work attitude. So you can see that these are just samples of two. They are really not real, but this is a sample. So if you look at that, we click on that, it takes you to the details. So you can see the name of the person, the job title, then you can see the quarter. The supervisor can be selected among the staff here. But if you come here, you can see these are the performance expectations under the attitude that this person is evaluated against. Now, the beauty of this application is that it uses a psychological philosophy that separates the description of performance from the marks attached to performance, so that the evaluator is objective and there is no distraction. Behind the scene, we have the scale, we have already attached the weight, we have already done all the things that forms the marks, but the system says describe the person's performance, I help you to produce the marks. For example, if you look at this person, let's say I want to evaluate, if I click on this, I can read up this person goes beyond the job. You read it and then I say, okay, this particular staff, it sometimes describe this stuff. Once I save it, then the system takes care of the marks. All right, now, so you can see the system will be actually that does the calculation. It's no longer the staff that is actually involved, and that's the beauty of it. So you don't actually get yourself bothered about what marks it is. If you look at anyone, any other component, you just select it, and then once you look at what's there and decide what it is, the system takes care of the rest. So the calculation, the results is actually managed by the system. All right, so basically that's how easy it is. For example, you find out that if you are dealing with, let's say, any other staff, the system does all the calculation. It's not actually, it has nothing to do with it. So if you, for example, click on this, and then let's say I increase this a little bit, and then I click save, you will notice that automatically goes to 41, and that's it. So by the time you finish that, you can also have something similar when you are dealing with technical evaluation. If you look at technical evaluation, look at this. One of the beautiful things is the fact that these three people are in finance, but the first thing I want to show you is the fact that even though they are in finance, they have been evaluated based on different technical core competencies, because they are actually dealing with different complexities. For example, if you look at this guy, is an accounts officer. He's actually being evaluated technically on three different things: payables and receivable, payroll accounting, and then if you read this, that is where you do his own evaluation. This is just three. So if I change what is there, you can see this is 38. By the time I change that, you will notice that it has become 40. The system does all the calculation, and it's not something you can manipulate. Meanwhile, you are just describing what the person does with respect to his work. So if I change this to this, all right, and then I save it, so what you see is that the system recalculates that mark, and that's how it is regularly. I mean, so that you are not, as the person who is evaluating, you are not so much bothered as to what is happening. So the system does the calculation, and that's just you're just doing your own bit. All right. So one of the things that you find is the fact that if you go back and say, okay, I want to look at somebody who is a management accountant, you will notice that the competencies that we are dealing with are completely different. So the other guy didn't have anything like financial budgeting, cost management, corporate risk, and the rest of it. But you can see that all those ones are present here. So you are evaluating that person on a different, evaluation set, completely. So I can actually come here to begin to do, my evaluation, and then saving each one of them. For example, as I come here, I read this. Once you read this very well, it describes that person, this assess and identify potential risk and everything. Once you do read and then just decide how much to describe the staff, so you are actually not bothered about what the marks the person is scoring. The system does all the scoring of the marks for you. You can see it has come up to about 22 here. So if I come to investment again, and I say, okay, person is all right, so you will notice that the mark has gone to 30, and all right. Now the beauty of it is that the default is that the system doesn't even show you these marks, such that you can concentrate just on the evaluation. And the interesting thing is that you can see that the management accountant has different level of detailed technical competencies from the accounts officer, even though both of them are in finance. By the time you come to the accountant, you will notice that he also has a different set, even though it looks more like management accountant. You can see, so it has to show you how detailed. So you can see this one dealing with profitability, cost management. So depending on the department, you can have different technical competency evaluation for the different individuals with different key roles within that department. And something similar is available for the KPI. So the KPIs can be shifted around and given to different individuals. And I think that basically these are the things that you have. Now, one of the things that you also have within the system is the job title management. For example, under job title management, all the job titles within the organization is available here. And the interesting thing about the job title is that it is the core of the application. Everything here revolves around the job title. All the technical evaluation, all the work attitude evaluation, management level evaluation, and everything revolves around the job title. The system provides for you to actually have, for example, if you click on this pencil now, the system goes to show you the details of this job title. And the beauty of it is that you can have your job description actually, you can just paste your job description here from wherever it is, and so that all the things that have to do with job description for the whole organization is that way. So and you can print this out at any point, so that you have the particular, because accounting officer is something that about 5 people can be, and then you can print the job description at any time, attach it to their evaluation at any point in time. I'm sorry, their maybe appointment letter or whatever, and that's number one. Then number two is the fact that this is where we now do all the configuration. For example, you will notice that the other time when you are doing evaluation, you didn't see anything like weights, but this is where we select. This is where the same manages the weight for each of the competency based on the HR and the management. The weights, for different competencies is actually, determined and placed here. And then also, for example, when you are dealing with technical competency as well, you can actually, this is where you select and work on the different weights. So you will notice that for this person, there are just 3 things, so the weights are different. But if you go to another one, you realize that the weights are differently distributed. So all the detailed configuration related to technical KPI and everything job is actually done at the job management level here. This is the core of the application. So there you have the system components, system settings here, and then the security is extremely deep. You don't see everything. Based on the management and the HR, will determine what individual within the system actually is able to see. So in brief, that's smart review for you. There are a whole lot more, but I believe this gives you an idea of what the application is all about, and we'll be happy to provide more answers as you send us your questions, and then we'll come in to do a more detailed demo. Thank you very much.